even like, I'm sorry, but I'm so over the fucking, all these performers have tattoos now on their face. Like, you like just let your voice do the talking. Like Post Malone. I mean, the dude, it just looks like a, bathroom stall wall now. I mean, like, come on. I mean, I'm sorry. He's lovely. But like, yeah, I mean, I want to see your beautiful face, not a fucking dollar bill sign on your eye when I'm trying to make out with you. It's just so weird. They all go so weird, I think. And I appreciate she's weird in a witch kind of way, but it's a different way and it works. Let's thank a sponsor. You guys, I'm obsessed with you. Thank you for frequenting my sponsors. Please let me know, by the way, if you like my sponsors, because I try to handpick every sponsor for my audience, which is 80% women. Fabulous. Shout out to the 20% men who listen to the Sarah Fraser Show. But the most recent one is Little Spoon, which I love. Back to school is a really stressful time. Well, Little Spoon is a food delivery service, a subscription box service for kids. And KJ is loving it. I'm talking from babies all the way up to 8-year-olds. They have biteables, baby blends, plates, and smoothies. Now, what are these? Baby blends are fresh, organic baby food from single ingredients to multi-textured purees. Their plates are for toddlers and big kids, where they do hidden veggie mac and cheese, chicken nuggets, and adventurous eats like pot stickers. The best part is you never have to worry about chemicals. They use organic products. They know the source, so you can be in good hands. And the things that I love about it, so they come in a plastic container, but you don't have to microwave it. You can also put it in the oven. I really like that. I don't like to microwave items for KJ, and I don't like to use a lot of plastic. Make this year's back to school chaos just a little more manageable with time-saving, delicious, and healthy meals and snacks your kids will love. Go to littlespoon.com/TSFS and enter code TSFS at checkout to get 30% off your first Little Spoon order. That's little, LITTLESPOON.com/TSFS and enter our code TSFS for 30% off at checkout. And please, once you order Little Spoon, let me know. I'd love to know your reviews because KJ is really enjoying their pouches. So I'd love to know if your kids enjoy their meals and biteables and more. Okay. The other thing I wanted to talk about, I really need somebody to debate about this. I have to shout out the LA Times. The LA Times does amazing entertainment reporting. Okay. Tom Girardi, Erica Jane's former ex-husband. They do the best entertainment reporting. And they just did over the weekend a story of what really happened between Kesha, the singer, and Dr. Luke. Is it a read? Oh, is it a read? And I enjoy an article that leaves you wondering, like, what really happened. And the article, I mean, I want to ask you guys if anybody has read this article about Kesha and Dr. Luke. I mean, who do you believe? Do you think he really did sexually assault and rape Kesha? Or do you think that she openly admits she was so drunk she doesn't know what happens? All she knows is she woke up in a hotel room. I'll give you some back context because this story's been out there for a long time, but they just sort of resolved it recently, which is why it's coming up. Or do you think you can't find Dr. Luke guilty? You can't make judgments about Dr. Luke if she has no memory and cannot prove that he really did sexually assault her, which is really kind of where it's at. That is where it's at. No criminal charges have ever been brought. She never went to the hospital. There's no proof, right? Back context, if you haven't read the article, it's really good. This lawsuit has been going on where she sued Dr. Luke, saying that he raped her. She wanted out of her contract, multi-year album, contract with him. And that he sexually assaulted her in a hotel room here in Los Angeles 10 years ago after a party at Paris Hilton's house, where Kesha was so drunk, she threw up in Paris Hilton's closet and knocked over a tray of cocaine in the bathroom where people were partying. And essentially Paris and the other people were like, get her out of here. And Dr. Luke was producing her. She was a new artist. This was before she totally popped off. And he left with her, went back to her hotel room because he had signed her as an artist. Okay. He signed Katy Perry and Kesha to produce their albums. And he did. I Kissed a Girl, Hot and Cold with Katy Perry, TikTok with Kesha, and many more hits now he's done for other artists. Genius music producer. Okay. So they have this relationship where he's the producer, she's the client. And he apparently, after she had this moment, brings her back to his hotel room. He says he spent the night on the couch. She slept in the bed. She says she wakes up naked. Her vagina feels weird. She called her mom at the time. She called a friend, but she never went to the hospital. And she goes on to, I think at one point, ask Dr. Luke if they had sex. He said no. And she continues to work with him, puts out her albums, becomes a huge star. And, for a while things were good, but the article goes into the deterioration of their relationship, mostly over her weight. That he was very critical of her weight. At one point in a music video, said she looked like a refrigerator. He, always wanted her on a diet. She wasn't eating. She was starving herself. And he didn't care how she did it. He told her cocaine, laxatives, whatever you have to do, but you better be thin. You better be hot. Nobody wants to team up with a fat artist. Oh, that's so awful. And, that part I'm like, yes, I believe it. Yeah, 100%. The other part of this article is Kesha says that at some point in the night at Paris Hilton's, before they got to Paris's, that Dr. Luke had given her a sober pill. Nobody knows what that was. He completely denies that ever happened. There's no such thing. Okay. So, the years go on, and then and like, there's so many elements to this, right? Her mom wanted to be a famous singer, never became one, puts all her eggs in Kesha's basket. Kesha begins to become famous. So the mom's going to be a songwriter with her. Anyhow, then in 2011, the mom fires off to the music record label industry people that Dr. Luke, if they don't let Kesha out of her multi-record agreement with Dr. Luke, they're going to come forward and they're going to tell the true story of how he sexually assaulted her. And anyway, they try to keep it down. A record executive emails Kesha's mom and says, you're killing your daughter's career. Cut this shit out. Everybody knows it's not true. Stop. But then couple years later, Kesha goes to war with Dr. Luke and does a legal team, including Mark Garagos. Mark Garagos drags Lady Gaga in because Lady Gaga had said that she was sexually assaulted by somebody in the record business when she was younger. And they allude to the fact that that was Dr. Luke. They also say that Katy Perry was sexually assaulted by Dr. Luke, none of which is true that we know of this time, because Katy Perry has completely denied it. And Lady Gaga's never revealed who it was, even though Lady Gaga stands by Kesha. But it's such a great article. It really casts, I don't know, it casts, I guess, a question of who do you believe in this situation? And, both of them have lost a lot. Kesha she hasn't really had a hit in years. I think she's going back on tour, but her career has never been the same. And Dr. Luke has gone on to still work and do amazing music things. But, his whole reputation has been dragged through the mud, and maybe the guy's a dick, but did he really sexually assault her? And then it even brings into play, like Lady Gaga and some of these other artists that got on board with Kesha when Kesha openly says, I was too drunk to remember anything from that night. It's a fascinating discussion to me. It really is, because you want to believe women, and then you're like, I don't know. I'm just looking to see if I could read the Dr. Luke and Kesha mutual statement, but I don't know. I'd love to debate somebody. I'd love to debate if somebody believes him, believes her, if she ever should have brought up anything, if you didn't really remember the details and you couldn't prove without beyond a shadow of a doubt that he did rape her, should she have ever brought it up? And did she just try to use that to get out of her deal with him? On June 22nd, they posted, Kesha and Dr. Luke have agreed to a resolution of the lawsuit and have agreed to issue and post a joint statement regarding that resolution. In resolution of that lawsuit, Kesha and Dr. Luke each state the following. Only God knows what happened that night. As I've always said, I cannot recount everything that happened. I am looking forward to closing the door on this chapter of my life and beginning a new one. I wish nothing but peace to all parties involved. Dr. Luke writes, well, I appreciate Kesha again acknowledging that she cannot recount what happened that night in 2005. I'm absolutely certain that nothing happened. I never drugged or assaulted her and would never do that to anyone. For the sake of my family, I vigorously fought to clear my name for nearly 10 years. It's time for me to put this difficult matter behind me and move on with my life. I wish Kesha well, Dr. Luke. Who do you believe? Who do you believe? Hit me up. a big one for me. I don't know. I don't know how you can look. I believe all women. I mean, what did she have to gain? I guess a lot of people could say she had to gain to get out of her contract with him and get away from him, right? And do I have any doubt that he's probably a douche that did make fun of her weight and was very critical? Yeah. But man, that's a big thing to accuse somebody if you don't have proof to back it. All right. Well, weigh in. Let me know if I'm right or wrong, or just your 2 cents. At the Sarah Fraser Show, everywhere podcasts are played. New episodes 7 days a week, and at the Sarah Fraser Show on social media.